Today I'm going to tell you an interesting story about the life of Saint Rose of Lima. Saint Rose is the patroness of the Latin Americas. She was born on April 20th, 1586 in Lima, Peru, and her baptism name was Isabel Flores de Oliva. She was one of the 11 children of a devout Catholic family. Her father, Gaspar Flores, was a Spanish army officer who was assigned in Peru during the Spanish colonization of Latin America, and her mother was a native of Lima, Peru. According to some accounts, Saint Rose was known to have a beautiful-looking face. Her beauty was so captivating that anyone who glanced at her couldn't look away. Her nickname Rose came about when one of her female servants stared at her face and it turned into a rose. But despite her beauty, Saint Rose chose to live a humble and spiritual life. When she became young, rumors spread all over the town about her, and suitors started flocking to her. But Saint Rose was devoted to dedicating her life to God by embracing a path of chastity and purity. So, to stay true to her calling, she constantly found ways to evade her suitors. At some point, she would even rub peppers on her face and cut her hair to deter them. Later, she was so inspired by the life of Saint Catherine of Siena that she joined the Dominican order. There, she would spend hours contemplating and praying in front of the Blessed Sacrament. At times, she would wear thorns to emulate her life to that of Jesus Christ's suffering, and she would also do long periods of fasting as an act of penance. In her late 20s, Saint Rose's health started to deteriorate because of her extreme fasting. However, it was during this time that her spirituality deepened. There were numerous accounts describing her experience of profound spiritual ecstasies which revealed her deep connection with God. In some accounts, people witnessed her levitating while she was in her deep prayer. Others also testified that when she prayed, they saw her face radiate a heavenly bright light, even though she was in a dark room with just a few candles. During prayer, people around her would notice a mysterious, sweet, and heavy fragrance emanating from her, which was believed to be a divine sign of her holiness. These manifested how deep her connection to God and people around her believed she was living a holy life. Unfortunately, on August 24th, 1617, Saint Rose died at the age of 31 years old. After her passing, many miracles were attributed to her intercession, and on April 12, 1671, she was canonized by Pope Clement X. Today, she is celebrated as the patron saint of Peru, Latin America, florists, and gardeners, and her feast day is celebrated every 23rd of August. If you like stories like this, follow, like, and subscribe.